So for the first time ever, since I started selling prints in 2015, I'm going to tell you the exact process of how I sell photography prints online so you can copy it and do it for yourself and make a little bit of extra money. In this video, we're going to go over manufacturing. I'm going to tell you who I use to print my prints so I can sell them online. I'm going to show you how to load these prints into your website, which my website, evanranth.com, is built on Squarespace. If you followed this channel, you probably have a website on Squarespace as well, and they're sponsoring today's video. Shout out to them. We'll talk about them a little bit later on. And I'm going to give you some tips on shipping, how to progress into more advanced shipping systems, and I'm going to tell you how to get all the shipping materials that you may or may not need depending on the strategy that you go with that I outline in this video. So in return for all this information, I have one favor I ask. Please hit the thumbs up button. Like I said, I'm giving y'all all my info here. I'm not gatekeeping or anything like that. So let's get into it after you hit that thumbs up button. So first thing we got to talk about is manufacturing. Now, something that I often get asked by people is, do I print my own photos or do I get them printed somewhere else? And a lot of people assume that I get them printed locally in Atlanta. I actually get them printed off-site with a service called simplycolorlab.com. They used to be based in Ohio when I first started working with them. Now they are based in Las Vegas. And I'll give a quick breakdown of how to use their website and how to order in a second. But before we do that, I do want to talk about a secondary option that you have, which is actually printing the photos yourself. A lot of people ask me, like I said, if I print them on my own, which I have considered in the past, but one of the pitfalls to this is just the general cost if you're not printing at volume. I would say a general rule of thumb if you're looking to sell prints is if you want to print them yourself, you need to be willing to make enough money off of your prints to where you can justify this purchase. Typically, a photo printer is going to cost between $600 and $1,000. You're going to have to pay for ink as well, and you're going to have to pay for the paper. Now, if you're trying to sell, let's say 50 to 100 prints a month, this makes a whole lot of sense. You have all the control over it and you can justify it. But if you're looking to sell one-off prints here and there, you're maybe not trying to make it a total part of your business and something that's a little more passive and in the background, I would recommend using a service like Simply Color Lab. So let me show you how it works and how you can order prints from a service like this. All right, so this is simplycolorlab.com. Now, what I recommend is going through this site a little bit just to get familiar with what products they have to offer. It's going to be a lot easier to view that here versus on the actual ordering software. So you can look through all the different things they offer: metal prints, fine art prints, gallery wraps, different other products like even wood products, acrylic stuff. They have so many different options. You can also go over to their frequently asked questions, get more of an idea of how the ordering system works, get an idea of how your account is going to be created. Even questions about color and things like that can be answered here. But for now, what we're going to do is go over to ordering, and you're going to see a downloader for their ordering portal, which is essentially just this software that allows you to browse all the products, add in your photos, and create your order. And in my opinion, it's actually easier than just doing this through a website because I don't know, it seems simpler to me. Maybe it's just bias because I've used this for so long. But once you go ahead and download the installer, you are going to have a program called Rose Engine on your computer. So once you download this Rose application, you're going to want to go to the right side of your screen and go ahead and fill in all your information, your company name, your actual name, email, confirm your email, create a password, address, where you're going to ship these prints, zip code, phone number. Once you fill all that in, even if you don't have an account yet, you're going to go ahead and click login. Now, once you log in with that information, after your first order, you will receive an email to create your account once you're approved. Basically, I think they do this to make sure they're not dealing with, scams or anything like that. They want to work with professionals. So once you do your first order, you pay your invoice, everything goes smooth, they'll let you create an account so you can continue to order frequently. Now from here, we're going to go up to sizes and images. One cool thing about this application is you can go ahead and drop in all the photos that you may want to print down in this bottom right here just by clicking the plus sign. I already have a photo in there for this demonstration. So from here, you have a number of different drop downs to all the different products they have available. You can browse through these yourself. You can check out canvases, all the stuff. And that's why I recommended using the website to view all the the products because it's going to give you an idea of what all these are. For now, we're going to go to Photo and Fine Art Prints. We're going to go ahead and click this drop over to Fine Art Traditional Prints. And as you can see, there are all these different sizes available. For this example, we're going to order an 8x10. We're going to go ahead and grab our photo from our little bucket down here, or whatever you want to call it. You can also grab an image from anywhere on your computer and go ahead and drag and drop it in. Now we have all these options to the right, including the type of paper. I definitely go with luster most of the time, but they also have different options like metallic. They have options like gloss, linen, and down here they have options as well for mounting. I prefer to mount my prints just because it makes them so much easier to ship. For an extra $10, you can mount it to this basically black plastic called black styrene. I think it works really well. You can also use more like matte boards, which is okay, but I found that the prints bend a little bit easier with these matte boards, whereas this styrene material is super durable. You can also add a matte size if you like. As you can see, I already added a matte to this image, so I'm not going to do that. And last but not least, we have these options to laminate. If you want more of a matte look, you can tweak your colors or don't tweak if you think your colors are accurate based on their color profile, which is another thing you might want to check out in the frequently asked questions. I usually go with don't color correct, but for you, you might be okay with them doing it. It's all up to you. And then you can also convert to black and white, which I don't know why they would do that, but it is an option if you're interested. So once you do that, you can go ahead and click add to cart, and you can go ahead and complete your order and have this shipped to you. Now, one more thing I briefly want to show you is, let's say you want more options as far as your paper goes. Maybe you want something a little more professional. You can click on this arrow sign right here and go to their high level paper prints. So you can click on 8x10 once again, drop in our photo, and as you can see, now we have all these different paper options. You have like photo rag, bright white, you have even fine art bar tea. I don't exactly know what this is. These are all papers that you might want to research on your own, but they do offer even more professional options and really high level papers here. But let's go to our cart, and as you can see, all we're going to do here is click checkout and put in our payment info. This is why it's important to make sure your address is accurate at the beginning. Once you have an account, there are options where you can drop ship prints to your final customer, but for this first one, probably just go ahead and order one of the prints to your office or studio so you can check it out for yourself. But that is the process of manufacturing a print through Simply Color Lab, who I've used for the last 10 years. All right, so we got our print ordered. It has now come to our house. We got to get this print online so people can buy it. Now, to do this, we're using Squarespace, like I already mentioned. Squarespace is the platform that I built evanranft.com on years and years ago, and the reason I built my website with Squarespace is just because it's easy. It allows people like you and me who don't have web design experience, who don't want to be spending all day on web design. It gives us the opportunity to sell products, have e-commerce, connect with our customers, and do a bunch of things with ease. So with Squarespace, what I like to do before I add any products to the site is make sure I have some type of product image. I'll typically shoot these in my garage, like a top-down shot, or maybe I'll hold the print just to show the size of it. You can always opt to just have the photo like JPEG as the print, but in my opinion, it doesn't tell as much of a story. It doesn't give your potential customer, I guess, an idea of how the print could be displayed. So I recommend investing a little bit of time into that side of it just so it looks professional. So get a couple images together of your print and you're ready to add this to your site. Now, as we go through this tutorial of adding this product to our Squarespace site, you can go to squarespace.com/EvanRanft, start a free trial, follow along with this whole thing. I'll link a bunch of other videos on this channel as well. I have one where I break down how I built my homepage, so you could watch this video, follow one of those other videos, build out your entire site with all the tools on this channel, and when you're ready to sign up, you can use code EvanRanft to save 10% at checkout on your site. So that's squarespace.com/EvanRanft, start a free trial, follow this video, follow the other ones on the channel, and when you're ready to sign up, use code EvanRanft to save 10% at checkout. Let's get into it. Let's add this print to our website so we can begin making some money. So we're currently in the back end of evanranf.com, and I'm going to show you how to add your prints to your website. So the first thing you'll do, regardless of what site you're using, what template you're on, you're going to click website and click on pages. Now, depending on what template you have, you might already have a shop page here in your template that you could populate using all the steps in this video. But for now, I'm going to show you how to start completely from scratch and just build out a print shop. So you can see that down in not linked right here, I have my print page. I can go ahead and grab this and bring it back into my main navigation when I'm done with this demonstration. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and click this plus sign right here, and we're going to add in a new store by clicking store. Now, I recommend having a separate page for your prints just because it cleans things up. It might be a lot for potential customers to see just a tab that says shop and be presented with my presets, my book, as well as prints. Having prints be their own separate thing, I think makes a whole lot of sense, and it's so easy to do doing the steps that I'm about to show you. So what we're going to do is click on store, and we're going to be presented with the option to have a new category or just create a new store in general. For now, I'm going to create a new store, so we'll click on that, and now we have two template options. We have this template, which is a little more, I guess, involved. You can add a header, you can give some context, you can add a button here, but I'm going to go with this more simple option because I think the title of print shop, if someone clicks on it, is self-explanatory. Maybe if it's more complicated products or a more complicated category, you'd want to go with something like this. But for now, let's go ahead and click on this. Now, we have the option to rename this. You can name it Prints. I'm going to call it Print Shop. So type that in, and we'll go ahead and click enter. And now we can begin to populate our new store. So the first thing you'll see in your template is all these different pre-made products. For now, we're going to go ahead and just use one of these. So we're going to click the three dots on each of these and go ahead and delete them. All right, cool. So now we are down to one product in our template, this Harvest Moon Cup. So we're going to double click on this, and the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and delete this featured image. So we're going to click on this trash can sign right here, go ahead and delete it, and we're going to add in our own images that we created before this step in the video. I already talked about the importance of doing that. So click on add right here. You can upload them or grab them from your library if they're already on your site. So here we go. We have three featured images that we want to include with our product right here. We're going to go ahead and check each one of these, and we're going to go ahead and upload them into our product page. There we go. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and slide this large image over to the first position, and we're going to set this as our thumbnail. Then from there, we're going to slide this full photo of the actual JPEG over to our second position. So on our product page, when someone goes and brings their cursor over this image shows up showing them the print. So let's click on save right here, and let's double check to make sure that worked properly. On our print shop page, you can see our thumbnail that we set, and when we scroll over, people can now see the photo that is the photo that is being printed. So that looks good. Now from here, we're going to double click back on our product, and we're going to go ahead and fill in all these details. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and add in a product name. You can add whatever you want here. Probably good to include the size, and if your print is mounted, let people know it's a mounted print. And if it's an edition of a number or an open edition, you can say edition of 5, edition of 1, whatever you want to put there. Next, we're going to go ahead and put in our product details. So with this, it's good to give some details about the product. Obviously, the more details, the better. But for today's example, we're going to keep it short and sweet. For the most part, I think if you're promoting prints on your social media or showing photos of it, people understand what exactly the print is. If you do mount the print, it's important to let people know that the print is mounted versus not mounted. Now, from here, what we can go ahead and do is we can set our price by changing the price to whatever we want. For this one, we'll call it $49.99. As you saw on Simply Color Lab, when you do mount the print, the cost goes up a little bit. So I recommend paying attention to your margin. Maybe if this print, say, cost us $35, we would want to double the price. So we can call it $69.99 to make sure we have a nice healthy margin on it. Now, because this is an open edition, you you could realistically set your stock to infinity, but I recommend setting it to something that is a little bit more reasonable for you to keep an inventory of. So let's say you order 5 of these, go ahead and set your stock to 5. And you can also change your SKU, because if you have multiple products and they're coming into either your shipping software or your backend, it's going to be easier for you to identify what the product is based on the SKU. So you can change this to Turbo Print. So when the order comes in, you immediately can see what the product is without having to read the description of it. So from there, we look good. We can go to our fulfillment options here and we can click on advanced shipping, and you can go ahead and set the size of the box that you'll be shipping this in. Now, a little bit later on in the video, we're going to go over the steps in ordering the proper size box. But let's say, for example, the height of this box is going to be 1 inch. Let's say the width is going to be 14 inches and the length is going to be 20 inches. Everyone is going to be different here depending on how you're shipping this, but it's good to go ahead and put this in. So if you eventually start using any type of shipping software, when this goes to that software, all of your dimensions are put in here automatically. So we'll go ahead and apply that. And from here, everything looks good. You can obviously add more to your description. If you want to add additional information, maybe say an overview video or something like that, you could click that here. But this is relatively simple. So let's go ahead and click save. And now our product should be live and ready to go for our customers. Everything looks good here. Now print shop, we can click on this and make sure everything looks good. Now let's say hypothetically, before you launch your print shop, you want to add 3 prints to your site. This is really easy to do. All you got to do is click on the product that we just finished making, double click on it, and go to the top right and click on this duplicate right here. So when you click on duplicate, you will have a copy of that page pop up. As you can see, it's labeled copy, and you can just change the title of this, change whatever information you need, repopulate your images, but now you're done and you can have 2 products on your site, and you save yourself a little bit of work because you're able to essentially use that first product as a template. Now on our product page, there are a few other things that we want to make sure we do. We want to scroll down here to our selling tools and our marketing tools, and we want to go ahead and click on edit under SEO and URL. Now, as you can see, our URL slug is still for that Harvest Moon template. We do not want to do that. We want to change this to something that we can remember or use as links on our social media. So we can go ahead and call this Turbo Print. So that way, if someone wants to find this print, we can send them a direct link to Print Shop Product Turbo Print. As you can see, it's much cleaner than Harvest whatever ... And from here, you can also add in an SEO title. You could say like Porsche Taycan Turbo Print. You could add in a description of it to make this searchable online. But for now, we're going to click apply, and we're also going to scroll back up to our advanced shipping options. Once again, this is a very important step. You want to get an estimate of the weight of this product when it's in its box. So let's say that this print weighs about 1 pound when it's boxed and ready to ship, based on your either estimates or your testing with some type of scale. We're going to go ahead and add that weight in here because it's important for our next step, which is mapping our shipping options. So let's go ahead and click on save, and we're going to jump back to our main navigation page, and we're going to click on this settings gearbox down here. Now in settings, we're going to go to selling, and we're going to click on shipping, and we're going to create a shipping rule for our product. Now for this demonstration, we're going to click on add shipping option, and as you can see, there's a bunch of different options out here with the size that you put into your product. You could have your carrier calculate how you're going to ship your product, whether that's UPS, USPS, FedEx. You can also do a flat rate for every product, cost this amount to ship, or you can do it by weight, which is something that I prefer to do because if you sell, let's say 2 prints, it might not cost that much more to ship than 1, but you do want to set these rules to make sure that you're not getting dinged on shipping costs as a business because you're not allocating the right amount of budget to your customer to offset it. So what we're going to do is click on depending on weight right here. Now let's say that a US customer, let's say USA shipping is what we'll title this. Let's say a US customer buys a print that is as we already mentioned, 1 pound. So we can set the cost of shipping for 1 pound to hypothetically $8.99. Now, I recommend getting an estimate based on the actual weight of your product. Maybe you ship one, maybe you put it into USPS or UPS.com to get an idea of what it costs. This is a nuanced step. Everyone is going to be different, but for the sake of example, let's say your 1 pound item costs $8.99 to ship. This is an important step because let's say someone orders 2 prints from your site. Now, your materials may weigh, I don't know, half a pound, and your print itself may weigh half a pound. So you can create a rule that says 1 to 1.5 pounds has a different shipping cost. Now, once again, this is a nuanced step. It's going to depend on all the products you have available, but you could say, I don't know, $9.99. And then if the item is over 1.5 pounds, you could put in either $9.99 again, or you could put in a different rule, let's say $12.99, because of the added weight, the shipping cost is going to go up. This is what I recommend for complete beginners, people who are just starting out and want a very simple system to be able to calculate their shipping quickly. All you got to do is know that the product you're selling is going to cost this amount, and you can put it in right here. When you get to more advanced things where you have multiple SKUs, multiple items, this system doesn't make as much sense, and I would recommend doing something like having your shipping be calculated by weight via one of these services. But I did just want to go over this option and make sure you knew it was there so you didn't get dinged on shipping, which is a mistake that I've made in the past. I had a print launch years ago that went really bad because I underestimated shipping and I basically made no money. But once you have your shipping figured out and you do it all through this shipping option tab, you should be ready to go on your print shop. So let's click on print shop one more time and make sure this is live. Everything looks good. We can go back to pages and we can click on this gearbox right here and make sure our URL matches nicely. As you can see, it says print shop right there. Everything's good to go. You want to make sure your page is enabled, but once you've done that, your product is ready for purchase and your customers can now buy it, and you can promote that print shop link through social media. All right, so now we got the print loaded on our website. Now, one more thing that we want to make sure we do here is attach a payment processor to our website so we can actually receive transactional payments. One option is Stripe, but Squarespace also has their own payment processing that you can check out. If you're a complete beginner, I definitely recommend just going with Squarespace. It's all straight through the platform, and it's going to make everything seamless and easy for you, especially when you're first starting out. And remember, you can follow this video, go to squarespace.com/EvanRamp, start a free trial, just do everything we do, and when you're ready to sign up, you can use code EvanRamp to save 10% at checkout. Now, from here, once people are able to purchase a print from your site, you obviously have to send it to them. Now, shipping is one of those things that can be really simple at first and then get extremely complicated if you're not ready. So I'm going to go through all the scenarios here to kind of show you the progression of how this would work. To start out, when it comes to shipping prints, if you're selling one individual print, a service like Simply Color Lab is great because you can, one, drop ship your print from Simply Color Lab, so you can send it directly to your customer. But if you say want to sign your print or quality control it and check it, you can get that print in the mail, open it up, sign it, put it back in the box, send it to your customers. So you don't even have to worry about buying shipping supplies or anything like that. That's another reason I just love getting the prints made by someone else. You just have the shipping materials given to you as part of the purchase. Now, this becomes a little bit of an issue when, say, you order 3 or 4 prints at once. Obviously, you only get one box for those prints, so you're going to need boxes for the remaining product. Now, what I recommend for this is a website called Uline. Uline is basically a website that sells every single thing a business could possibly need. They have so many products, probably like close to 1 million on there, but with Uline, you can look at all their cardboard box options. Now, when it comes to loose prints, especially smaller ones, I recommend easy folder mailers. So let's say we have a print that's a 5x5, we can look for a mailer that's maybe in the 7-inch range. It looks like there's one on here, and we can add that to cart. Now, one thing about using a service like Uline is you do have a minimal order requirement and you do have to create an account. It is more of a professional tool, but if you're selling prints at volume, that's what comes with this. It becomes more of a professional process. So with this order, you'd have to order 100 boxes, which comes out to around $70. Not a huge investment. You're looking at 70 cents per box, which I think is completely fine. Now, obviously, this is an extremely nuanced step because some people might print different sizes. Some people might print photos mounted. Some people might not mount their prints, so they might want more protection with a different box style. It just all varies, but Uline is the place to do that. Once you do your first transaction, you'll create an account and you'll be able to order from them consistently. Now, from here, once we have our print packaged and boxed, it's time to actually send it to the person who purchased it. Now, there's a couple of different options here based on the volume that you're selling. If you're selling just a couple of prints a month, maybe you're the person who is just ordering one print, getting it to you, you're signing it, and then sending it back in the box that it came in, you can just basically write the address on the box or use any shipping carrier's website to get a label made for you. You can print the label, put it on, drop it off, you're good to go. Or you can go stand in line at the post office, whatever you prefer. Simple systems work here because you don't have a lot of volume. And once you send that off, you have a tracking number. All you'll do is go into the back end of Squarespace. You will click fulfill on that order. You'll add in the tracking number. Then the tracking will be sent to the individual who purchased it, and you're good to go. Hopefully it gets there in one piece so you don't have to deal with customer service stuff, which is unlikely for the most part. Now, this system works fine when you're only selling like 5 to 10 prints a month. Once you get to higher numbers of prints, you could consider a shipping software service like ShipStation, or what's the other one out there? Shippo, I think, is one. There's a bunch of different options, but these are plugins that can work on your Squarespace site. So when an order comes in, you can create a label straight through that software, go ahead, put it on your package, send it off, and it's all done automatically. Now, this is an option that I would not even think about until you have the volume to where it's kind of a nuisance going to the post office or doing everything individually. So that's kind of a more advanced tip. So that is everything you need to know: how to ship your photos, how to create them, how to get them on your website. It's all in the video. Obviously, it's up to you to apply this information and apply the nuance of your specific situation. If this video helped you out, like I asked at the beginning of the video, hit the thumbs up button for me and leave a comment telling me what part of this helped you. I would greatly appreciate it, and it helps the video long-term continue to be shown to people on YouTube. Y'all are the truth. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see y'all next time.